President Muhammadu Buhari has presented a budget proposal of 10.33 trillion naira before a joint session of the National Assembly for consideration for the 2020 fiscal year. Correspondent Folorunso Adegoke has details in this report.
It was about 2 p.m. when President Muhammadu Buhari arrived to the National Assembly to present the budget to lawmakers. The president says the 10.33 trillion naira budget proposal has an expenditure estimate that includes statutory transfers of 556.7 billion naira, non-debt recurrent expenditure of 4.88 trillion naira, and 2.14 trillion naira of capital expenditure. According to him, the sum of 8.155 trillion naira is estimated as the total federal government's revenue in 2020 and comprises oil revenue of 2.64 trillion naira, non-oil tax revenues of 1.81 trillion naira, and other revenues of 3.7 trillion naira. This is a 7% increase compared to the 2019 estimate of 7.594 trillion naira, inclusive of the government-owned enterprises.
An aggregate expenditure of 10.33 trillion naira is proposed for the federal government in 2020. The expenditure estimates include statutory transfers of 556.7 billion naira, non-debt recurrent expenditure of 4.8 trillion naira, and 2.14 trillion naira of capital expenditure, excluding the capital components of statutory transfers. Debt service is estimated at 2.45 trillion naira, and provision for sinking fund to retire maturing bonds issued to local contractors is 296 billion naira.
President Buhari says his government will raise the threshold for value-added tax to 25 million naira turnover per annum to bring relief to small and medium businesses.
Distinguished and honorable members of the National Assembly, the 2022 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy paper set out the parameters for the 2020 budget. We have adopted a conservative oil price benchmark of 57 United States dollars per barrel, daily oil production of 2.18 million barrels per day, and an exchange rate of 305 naira for American dollar in 2020. Accompanying the 2020 budget proposal is a finance bill for your kind consideration and passage into law. This finance bill has 5 strategic objectives in terms of achieving incremental but necessary changes to our fiscal laws. These objectives are: A, promoting fiscal equity by mitigating instances of regressive taxation; B, reforming domestic tax laws to align with global best practices; C, introducing tax incentives for investments in infrastructure and capital markets; D, supporting micro, small, and medium-sized businesses in line with our ease of doing business reforms; and E, raising revenues for government. The draft finance bill proposes an increase of the VAT rate from 5 to 7.5%,
The President also sought the support of the National Assembly in passing into law Deep Offshore Act Amendment Bill, Petroleum Industry Bill, as well as 2 other bills including a new finance bill that he intends to forward to lawmakers. The 2020 budget was the first to be presented before the 9th National Assembly by President Muhammadu Buhari and is expected to come into effect on January 1st, 2020. Folunsho Adegoke, Core TV News, Abuja.